I typically don't shoot color film, but it's always nice to see a company release a new film stock. This is Silberra Color 100. When it was released, I honestly wasn't all that interested. That is until I saw some of the negatives. Now, here are some conventional C41 negatives. This has that distinctive orange mask that you often see with color negative film. And here's some Silberra Color 100 negatives. This instead has a pinkish gray mask, and looking at it, I didn't know what effect it would have on the image itself. When developed normally, the film has a warm tone to it. It's a little desaturated, but it's what you'd expect. It's color film. This is whatever, I'm not all that interested in it, but what I am interested in though is what I could do with this funky base. My first thought was what would happen if I cross-process this? And for example, here's what conventional C41 looks like when it's cross-processed in E6. Yeah, it don't look too good. It retains that orange base and it really overpowers the image, and this is about as good as it gets. I mean, you could correct it in post, but when I think of color reversal, I think of vibrant, color-accurate slides, and this ain't it. So when I see a color negative film stock that doesn't have a thick orange base, I have to wonder what it will look like when it's cross-processed. Alright, this wasn't what I was expecting. It actually kind of worked. It's overexposed and washed out, but these look like proper positives, and not like that orange mess that I just showed you with regular C41. And I could also explain this overexposure. Normally when you cross-process C41 film in E6, you have to compensate for two stops, either by overexposing two stops or overdeveloping two stops. And in this case, there's no orange base to fight with, so I think I just accidentally overexposed it. So I shot another roll, but this time I shot it at box speed. Holy crap, it actually worked. One thing I should mention is that the base has a slight green cast to it, and it wouldn't surprise me if this was due to a chemistry issue. I tend to be really sloppy with my chemistry mixing because I mostly develop in black and white, where you don't really have to be precise, and it doesn't really matter, and I don't really care. But for color film, it's different, and more specifically, the color reversal process is very picky and very precise, so some inaccurate colors may be due to my sloppiness. Regardless, taking a look at these positives, I'm surprised how well they came out. It's not quite as vibrant and punchy as actual slide film, and I'd still prefer to shoot Velvia or Provia or E100 or pretty much any cold stored expired slide film over this. But in a pinch, honestly I wouldn't mind shooting this stuff. It looks okay. At this point, I was curious as to what other things I could do to this film. Like, what about red scaling? Yeah, it looks red scaled. If anything, it might actually be a little bit more red than normal red scale. Usually I could get some color information here and there, but this is pretty much just red. Like normal red scaling, I overexposed this by one stop, and I think that's to compensate for shooting through the orange base. But with this clearish base, I probably didn't need to overexpose it, and that might explain why the red is a little bit more aggressive. And finally for the last roll, I bleach bypassed it. There's nothing special about this, I just wanted to bleach bypass it, and I wasn't expecting much. It looks like any other bleach bypass film. It has that desaturated look with higher contrast, and not much more past that, but, you know, whatever. I had extra film. At the end of the day, I'm glad that there's someone out there making new film. And I like it more that it's a little unconventional. For the most part, it behaves like most other C41 film stocks, but if you mess around with it, it could get a little bit freaky and you could get some unexpected results. I think this stuff is alright. I'll probably never shoot it again, but I'm just glad it's around.